What is up, closers and entrepreneurs? This is Tryson Jones coming at you here again. It is Thursday, January 11th, and again, setting up this new office. I'm really excited to use it, and just ready to make some content and kill it this year. So I thought I'd come to you today with a little bit of information. This is something that's been obviously an ongoing issue for most salesmen. I've had this issue, and I'm not going to say I'm perfect and don't struggle with it sometimes, in my life now. But nonetheless, there are a few things as far as your mindset when you're in sales and you can't count on a dependent or a consistent paycheck. It's all mind game, and your mindset is everything. So depending on your production, your mindset gets affected, and I want to talk about two of the key detrimental mindsets that happen from making money and not making money. So without further ado, here we go. We've got complacency. If you don't know what complacency means, that is being completely content with where you're at. And so if you are complacent with just surviving, if you're complacent with paying the bills and having a little bit of extra money, if you're complacent with just, making a paycheck, whether you can pay your bills or not for some people, I guess, whatever it may be, complacency will always cost you money. The other thing is desperation. So desperation obviously is caused when you're not making money, when you need to make some money. And as a result, you make less money. Both of these things cost you money. So I figured I'd get a little bit illustrative with you here today. I'm definitely not an artist, but I think that people are getting a little bit bored with my list of things. So, you look at this here. You've got salesman. He gets a paycheck with a comma in it. He's happy. He's thinking about all the things he's going to spend money on for the next week. He's got his legs up, really not putting in the effort that he needs to because he's still floating on this paycheck. Well, doesn't make any sales, doesn't make a paycheck. Now his goals, his bills, party money, whatever it may be, are gone, or he doesn't have them. All because he made a check, was happy with it, and then decided that he could rest on his laurels, if you will. So then desperation comes in, right? So you got somebody on the phone with a prospect, you've got them speaking at the prospect, you've got them telling features and benefits, talking at them, not listening to them, arguing with them, pushing them, or trying to pressure them into the sell. And it's not effective. So this causes, number one, on the salesman end, a lot of lost energy, and we'll talk about that. On the prospect's end, you're causing red flags to come up. Biologically, if we go back to times of trading and bartering, if somebody came to you and they were needy or they needed something from you, that was repulsive at the time, through the Great Depression or, poor times before that, before we had all these opportunities and resources. So neediness is repulsive to humans just by nature. So when the client feels like you need them more than they need you, these red flags start flying up. Why is this guy acting like this? Why does he need this so bad? What's going on behind the scenes here? So they start asking questions that lead them down the wrong path. They stop listening to you, and ultimately you're going to lose a sale. You lose a sale, you got a sad salesman. He ends up, crying, throwing a fit. Again, doesn't make a paycheck. So you see a cycle of this, and this leads to self-doubt. It leads to salesmen wasting time because they are not enthusiastic or not confident that the next call or the next prospect is going to be a close. They lose interest overall in what they're doing. They lose interest in their clients. They start blaming other things, and ultimately it just turns to a negative attitude if that cycle continues, or you can't break that yourself or as a manager somehow. So 5 things that I've listed to do that would help you stay out of this. Pretty simple stuff. Number 1, try to be in service to all of your clients. If you're in service to all of your clients and your number 1 goal is not to get their money, but your number one goal is to leave them with some sort of value or help them in some sort of way, then it takes way less energy. You put way less pressure on yourself, way less pressure on the client as you go through the process. And if they're good or a qualified client, you're going to be going through the process and they'll turn into a sell. If they're not, you go through the process and everybody's happy. You leave them with a little bit of something. So number two, get clear with your why. You know, if you're in sales, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're doing anything where you don't have guaranteed money and you don't know exactly why you're doing that, why you're making that sacrifice, why you put yourself through the ups and downs and the roller coaster of that, then get clear with that. And if you can't get clear or justify doing what you're doing with that why, then you should probably find something else to do. Number three is anytime you're in a slump, study, read a book, listen to audio, go learn from a mentor, go ask your manager what you could do better, get back to the basics, whatever it may be. You need to adjust somehow because you're stuck in this cycle. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So when you're stuck in this cycle, you have to adjust to get out of it. You cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that caused it, in the words of Albert Einstein. Number four, save some money. Put some money in your bank account. Salesmen are terrible at this because, again, we can't count on a paycheck. So when we have a lot of money, we feel like we have a lot of money and that's going to keep coming. When we don't have a lot of money, we feel like that's never going to end either. It's the idea of impending doom that ultimately leads us down a bad path for a long time. But you should always have faith that there's going to be good days, good weeks, good months, bad months, good years, and bad years. But if you're clear with your why and why you do what you do and it produces the results that you need, then you make it through that roller coaster. Just have a little bit of padding to make it through the down times. And last but not least, learn the difference between empathy and sympathy. If you don't know the difference, look up the definition. But I'll explain to you in my terms what the difference would be and why it makes a difference to you. Empathy is identifying with somebody's feelings, but not feeling bad with them or for them. So you say, I know that must be hard, Mrs. Smith. Obviously, raising 3 grandchildren on your own, on Social Security isn't easy. I can only imagine the sacrifices you have to make and the adjustments that you have to make and the things that you want to be able to provide for them that you can't, right? That's being empathetic. You're not feeling bad for the kids. You're not saying, oh no, do they have clothes? Do they have soap to wash their hair? Obviously you want to care about people, but don't take it too far, right? Understand where the customer's coming from, what their problem is or what their pain is, and identify so that they know that you heard them and so that you're not catching these negative feelings with them. If you do this, again, you're expelling way less energy because emotion is energy. Emotion is vibration. Everything we do is vibration. So the more vibrations you send out, the more energy you use. So that's what I have for you today. I know that was a little bit lengthy, but I tried to keep it as short as possible. Guys, let me know if you would rather see, illustrative kind of step-by-steps of what I'm churning, write things out, or what you'd like to see. That would help me out a lot. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate you following. I will be back tomorrow for the Top 5 Friday, and we'll see you then. In the meantime, share this with anybody who you think can use it. Follow and like the page at Entrepreneur Entourage, at Hustlers Not Anonymous on Facebook, and follow my blog at sellorbesoldblog.wordpress.com. If you want to make some extra money, go to this website. www.3-works.com/workhard play hard. It's a free app. It's totally legitimate, developed by Mark Cuban's company Mobile Vivo. It has to do with sports, and you can win free prizes by playing different games that are similar to betting games or gambling, but you're not gambling your own money. For playing these games, you get points and you can earn prizes or money. So it's a pretty cool thing to get involved in. Obviously, there's a business side to it. If you're interested in that, let me know. But check out the app first. Understand that it's in its early stages of development, but you can see, and if you understand sales, understand the psychology behind having a free hook, having an automated funnel that they've already put into place to help somebody understand how they can make money if they're a free user once they get engaged with the app. So get somebody to download the thing and it'll sell itself if they use it. Anyways, again, we'll see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate you tuning in.